any team, mathematically wise, can qualify for BlizzCon. Even Hot Sadie or the RPG at the bottom of the table. But realistically, there is SPT going to BlizzCon and a four-way battle for the next 2 slots. Challenge, Beyond the Game, TheOne, and Soa all battling for that final slot. That is brave. TheOne taking CE to Infernal Shrines when they are currently 1 and 3 on it.
Yeah, this is definitely a good battleground, but so was Sky Temple Teacher. They had a 10-2, what was it? 10-2 record, and TheOne just wasn't really impressed. And they crushed them pretty hard. Now, you're going to have to crush this draft for me for a bit, because I'm going to have to rush to my Golden Throne and relieve myself. I'll be back in a bit.
That is fine. As we head into the draft, it's going to be CE with the first ban. I would so not be surprised to see a Illidan or even a Tassadar ban. At least lower the effectiveness of that Illidan due to it being there. It's going to be Ariel, though. But they are first picks, so that's doable. They can first pick Tassadar for themselves. Once again, lower that potential. This is a relatively decent Illidan map if TheOne wanted to repeat their performance there. By taking, they can use lots of split push. They took Immolation. It will still help on the shrines as well. So they have plenty of options. But for now, due to the side we are on the observer interface, we can't see what TheOne are hovering, if anything, unfortunately. So we have to wait and see and just speculate. For those who don't know, Mechanic and Heroes of the Storm, observers are, I believe, programmed as they are on the team side as they are in the lobby. So if you are on the left-hand side, you're on blue team. If you're on the right-hand side, you're on red team, but you are separated, which is why you can see, if you are in an observer interface, one team's hover drafts, but not the other. So there you go, a little bit of observer interface knowledge. It's going to be Valor that's removed, lowering that Zuyu potential. Zuyu did cause a lot of havoc in that last game, and as predicted, it is going to be Tassadar with the first pick for CE, which is very effective. I hear clicks. Kendrick has returned.
I have returned. Now, Tetra, I want to allow me to ask you a very personal question, will you? Okay.
Sure. Didn't even wait for my response. Go for it.
So, you know, is there anything you like to do, any pastime activity, for example, that you like to do while sitting on the throne?
Whilst what, sorry? You cut out.
While sitting on the throne?
I mean, I browse Reddit a lot.
That's acceptable. I've been doing that one too. But I've discovered a new hobby.
Oh,
I like to watch...
I do have another one quickly.
Okay, go.
I play the Switch.
Seems good. Seems good. I've discovered cute kitten profiles on Instagram.
That's fair. That's fair.
There we go.
So, Lunara coming in very early this time for TheOne, and they bring out the Gengu as well.
Ooh, is that a pro Gengu? Let's see. Oh, and to be honest, man, Meng, who's probably going to play that for TheOne, he's a terrifying Genji. I mean, I have very rarely seen a player going from, yeah, he's meh, you know, he's not really that good, into, whoa, this guy has improved and is an absolute god on certain heroes right now.
No, Kendrick, it's pronounced Meng. You're missing 2 letters there.
I know. I was giving in. The moment I said it, I was like, do I fully commit to this joke or do I just let it pass? And I decided to let it pass, you know.
It's kind of Meng. Yeah, you have to really commit to make that one work.
Okay.
So, we see Uther and ETC, the potential holy cow combo. It is technically double support. Tassadar will hopefully make up for the lack of AoE healing that is currently on the side of CE. Prog Rock as well. They should be able to survive the Lunara AoE.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has basically been our theme today. Lunara into Uther or the other way around. Which, you know, the latter is very brave, Uther into Lunara, and it did get punished today over and over again, but it looks like a Luful. If there was one support player I would never question in HGC China, it is him. So he must have a strategy prepared, especially, you know, that Tassadar helps out a little bit in terms of, you know, life leeching back against the poison and, of course, shielding. ETC could go for Prog Rock, which, if completed, is also another great counter tool to the AoE damage.
materials still available for them, so they can go for even more protection.
True.
Just go for a full hyper carry.
True.
Not many hyper carries are left though. With Lunara taken, Greymane and Valor banned out now. So if they did want a hyper carry, their options have become limited to potentially Cassia. Not a huge amount else, actually.
Unfortunately, Cassia gets kind of destroyed by Lunara because she has to approach her target from a very close distance compared to other ranged assassins, and while doing so, while trying to do so, she's just going to get poked to death because her trait doesn't, diminish the poison damage.
Javelin build, walking healing. Javelin build and War Traveler. There you go.
Can I have
Javelin build,
please? This is unacceptable.
Why are you... Sorry, what?
I was just saying, like, that you're doing a very good job casting, Tetra.
I still think the Chaffin build will eventually start getting used, but will take some adjustments to it, probably. Yeah, it's sad. So, let's see what we end up with. The more than likelihood is we're going to see some kind of ranged assassin, like maybe Falstad, maybe Cassia still, maybe even go back to a Zuyu special and bring out the Sylvanas, which is also going to have a ranged issue, but they need the potential for something else, and then probably another frontliner. Raider! Now, I wanted to mention it, then thought it was stupid.
Heyo!
So, here's the Raider.
We talked about this, Tetcher. We were having a theory crafting discussion. Hey, with all that, double support, hyper carry jazz, why don't teams try the Rainer? And, we came up with, I think we could fill at least 5 pages of reasons why it probably wouldn't work. So we'll compare it, Vala.
Yeah, so here are the reasons why it shouldn't work, and here's why it might work here. Lack of mobility.
Okay.
He has double support with a lot of CC, a lot of cleanses, a lot of peeling in the form of ETC. So that's the original issue. Lack of AoE damage. They have Mouth Ale to make up for it. He has a reasonable amount of CC. The fact that he could get bursted through before his healing can activate. They have Uther. They have Tassadar. If you're gonna run a Raider, this is the kind of comp that can make it work. He's extra range heavy, so he's gonna be extra effective against that Arthas.
True.
He has self-healing, which can actually potentially out-heal the Dragon Blade. Overall, this could work.
Oh, what is going on? 2 heroes that we don't see in other regions at all. It's the Ragnaros here as well, and it is not Tomb of the Spider Queen. I think this is the first Ragnaros outside of Tomb of the Spider Queen we've seen all season long, Tetcher.
In China, I believe so. We've seen a lot of Tomb, China, like you said. In Open Division, we've seen it a couple of times. But yeah, Ragnaros coming in, and that's cool. Little bit of extra AoE siege. If you're having trouble with Raider outraging you, you take something with even more range in the form of Molten Core Ragnaros. So, kind of down with it. This is really going to be an interesting game. CE, they are moving out of the box, but they're still remaining fine. Like, it was between, if we were going by this style of what do we need? We want an auto attacker that works with it. What are our choices between? It was the options of Sergeant Hammer, if you wanted to go for that, which is vulnerable to Genji. You take, you have the option of Cassia, like we said, 2 short range. You have the option of Tychus, 2 short range, and doesn't get as much value from Tassadar. That leaves you with Reyna. They have, by process of elimination, brought back a hero who we have not seen in a very long time. Let's see if it works.
Now, Tetcher, summarize this draft in 1 word.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with. Woo! Let's go. First game here. Second game, excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Second game between CE, the former champion, struggling once again against the new and upcoming team, TheOne, and of course Set, TheOne, who are looking so good with an extraordinary playstyle, coming in here with that crazy core call in the previous game, picking Ragnaros on the map that's not Tomb of the Spider Queen. Can they make it work? Let's find out. And Once again, deployed to the Infernal Shrines, we have TheOne leading 1-0 with Hugo on the Ragnaros, Lucky on Arthas, Meng plays the Genji, Zyren on Rhaegar, and Hehe goes for that Lunara.
Whereas on the right-hand side, currently 0-1 down, it's Challenge with a Lufel on the Uther, Wind on the ETC, KTY on the Tassadar, Paradise on the Malthael, and Zuyu making a return to like pre-season, like 2015 builds with the Raider. He did play a lot of this back in 2015.
Yep, you said it. So it's an old hero, kind of, both literally and in terms of in-game knowledge. But, you know, he can work. It's not like a Rainer is an auto loss. I mean, especially in competitive play where you can protect him a little bit better, the communication is a little bit better, you can farm the season marksman up a little bit quicker. So I'm just super excited to see what old Jimmy is going to bring to the table here.
I also like that they did not only pick the Malthael themselves because it's cool AoE, it would have also absolutely devastated them if TheOne had taken it as their last pick. True. The anti-healing on that Reyna, he's gone. Yeah. Nothing he can do. But now, though, he's starting with a seasoned marksman, and they're going with a 3-man rotation. ETC's kind of joining them, but not really. He's just making sure they don't get ganked in that rotation for the moment, while Malthael is going to duel with Ragnaros in the top lane.
And here's the thing, right? During the draft, we talked a lot about, you know, how they can stay alive when the Genji goes in with the Dragon Blade, Jimmy having a little bit of self-healing, and they have double support to protect him. I'm going to make a claim here. I think with the lineup that CE has, they can actually be the aggressors. Like ETC going in, Divine Shielded Malthael, like they can definitely bring the aggression to their opponents, rather than just, you know, it being the other way around.
No, I completely agree, and there's one very important reason why I think that that is the case. We started very quickly, Zuyu. This is the issue that Raider can have. His self-heal, no self-escape, and his self-heal didn't even proc. It activated, and then he got blown up. That's the issue he can have. But here is my argument while we wait for Raider to respawn and prove our point wrong, for why they can go aggressive, and that is, Reyna is one of the few heroes in the game who still has an ally attack speed increase, and there is an Archon potentially in the game.
It's like a mini stim drone, basically, on a much lower cooldown. I like that synergy. I didn't even think about it. So definitely another solid point to make during those team fights. For now, though, that one death doesn't mean the end of the world. I mean, it's going to be all right. Level 4 is here around the corner. They pick it up.
So this should be Relentless Leader or Focus Attacks for Raider. Focus Attack for the extra damage is going to be the end goal here. I would prefer Relentless Leader because it makes him even more sustainy. For those who don't know, Relentless Leader, every time Reyna is stunned or rooted, he knocks away the enemy. So, for example, if Arthas took his E roots later in the game, it would have knocked Arthas away and given Reyna a chance to escape, and it reduces the cooldown of his self-heal by 15 seconds, meaning he's constantly sustaining, especially against Arthas, who's constantly rooting. That's basically only CC, though, so that's the only thing it would have activated on, so the focused attack, in this case, extra damage, is going to work out better.
Now, look at Jimmy. Zuyu pounding on those auto attacks here on Genji, on Arthas. Actually, remarkable damage, while in the meantime, Ragnaros is not participating in that shrine fight, but neither is Tassadar. Those two are basically, you know, multi-soaking several lanes in order to not fall behind in XP. Yeah. But now comes the Lunara damage.
Tassadar is reacting to the early kill onto Raider.
Ragnaros is here.
He got burst. They don't go for Legion Plasma. It's the Holy Light.
Okay, good body blocking, actually, and good zoning out here by Lufel to keep the Reyna safe, because he was actually the one in the front line here for a bit. Tassadar has joined the fray, and Molten Core to help dominating that shrine. It was a little bit too late, though.
But Lunara is already down. Zuyu just staying very far in the back, using that extra range he has from his, I guess technically his E, to his advantage. And they are able to take the first Punisher. Molten Core has expired, so now it is not available for the defense. And is it technically his E or is it his trait? I forget how they put it. It's trait. There we go.
Which one? The Molten Core?
No, Raider's extra attack range. It's trait, yeah.
It's a trait, yeah. It used to be a talent back in the earliest stages of Heroes of Storm, but they basically gave it to him as a trait, which is still kind of underwhelming if you compare it to other traits like Molten Core, right? But yeah,
just a bit.
Can't have it all.
And even Hammer has the exact same trait and also other things, extra damage from being sieged, etc. So yeah, it's still good enough for what he is. He is supposed to be like. Reyna was always designed to be the very first hero who you play as, and therefore the easiest one to learn. It's a good hero to teach and learn stutter stepping with, and learn the different mechanics with. He has one less ability.
Do you see those 360s? Like Reynor is getting a minion, 360.
Yeah, that's how you done a step with Reynor. Yeah. Your turn speed is about the same amount as you need. So, level 7 is available for CE and for the one here. Reynor is going for the fight or flight. More armor for Reynor. So now there is the colors, light for armor, Uther's healing for armor, and the fight or flight, which gives him 25 armor when his adrenaline rush activates, and it can now be manually activated, making Zuyu far safer.
Yeah, guess who's not safe at all? Like, that Ragnaros just got absolutely bodied by...
Got stacks, though.
He got the stacks, yeah. He basically collected the last remaining regeneration globe for his level 4 talent, making him much more resilient now in future team fights. I'm not even sure if he used it. I think he basically saved the cooldown for now. Now, another big advantage that Reynor brings to the table... Well, hold on. He's going to have to survive here first.
There's the armor. Not enough. Should have activated earlier.
Yeah, another big advantage that Reynor brings to the table against heroes like Lunara is the fact that he can actually outrange them, or at least stay in the same range. So that's another reason why he's particularly powerful against heroes like, let's say, you know, Cassia and Tracer. Because those people normally need to get very close to him, where he just chips down the health over and over again. By the way, we see no Revolution Overdrive for Reynor. I think that's what you said earlier, right?
It was Relentless Leader at level 4 that I thought might be used. Revolution Overdrive is what I said last week in terms of making up for his lack of mobility. But
it's the fight or flight.
Far more important here. Yeah, extra armor from fight or flight is far more important here.
Yeah, the armor is going to be very, very useful. Kind of nice to see how tanky old Jimmy can be. Now with the Tassler Shields, he's going to have crazy life leech. Still no Callous Embrace though. Still going for the Callous Light, which is a little bit more armor. Once that shield gets broken or expires.
Hyperion. Matt has joined the fray as he drops a little bit
Molten
of
Core.
In this case, Molten Core though, 33 to 21, 34 to 23. This is probably still going to go over to the one, as in comes Arthas, and that's going to be everyone pulling back. Zuyu staying alive for the moment, turning around, dropping some damage, but like we said, Punisher going over to the one, and it kind of sucks when you have to use your Archon and your Tormented Souls as a disengage tool.
Just to stay alive, exactly. However, they still managed to salvage a couple of heroic abilities, like the Mosh Pit. That Punisher does not want to lead. Now it does. Okay.
No, it did not want win. It's just like, nah, I don't want him. Instead, it leaps onto Paradise, and as such, unfortunately, it leaps to the wrong side. So this fountain gets a walloping, but it will survive.
Maybe it's a vegetarian
like
Punisher, you know?
Got it.
Just didn't want the beef, you know? Vegetarian Punisher, confirmed.
Yeah, so it goes for a ghost. Instead, as an angel slash spirit slash...
Oh, that was indeed very curious, because normally the way it works, if you want to leash that Punisher over the wall, is you just have to use an ability. So, technically speaking, the Punisher gets some vision behind the wall. But I'm pretty sure Wind used the knockback and the heal, so normally it should have worked, but for some reason it didn't, so...
yeah, he even ran, like, into the gate to try and fight it over. Instead, it was Malthael who got caught with a Death Curtain. Not Death Curtain, that's level 20 talent.
Which one? The level 7 for Malthael, or...?
No, just a W, what's it called in general?
Malthael's W, you mean? I'm a little bit confused right now.
W or E, the ranged ability, which is what actually revealed him.
Oh, now I see what... Okay. So it's basically the Death Shroud.
Death Shroud, that's it. And now we see Zuyu getting chased out, getting focused, pops the armor, staying alive, gets a shield, Divine Shield, and Zuyu's tanking through, but his team is not so lucky. They've been able to kill Genji, though, so that's a start. KTY able to pull back.
Paradise with a flank.
Just arriving here. They want to try and turn this here. Paradise has found Zyran. Lucky is getting dropped by Zuyu, but it's not enough to finish off the kill. Hugo will...
Jimmy!
Poison!
Oh! No, I think he makes it out alive.
We'll be able to escape. 1 for 1.
Well, the Jimmy, though, dishing out a surprising amount of damage here. Almost.
It took, like, every sustainability from the team, but he lived.
Yeah. How can you actually shoot a Fire Lord with a gun?
I mean, like that, apparently. I mean, this game is... this game has some anti-realism in it. I mean... Why am I arguing this? There's a rock and roll cow! This this not an argument?
Pretty sure Jimmy is just using a super soaker here, just shooting aqua bullets at the Ragnaros. All right.
Look, it's lead. Ragnaros doesn't go well with lead. There we go. Problem solved.
No,
That's
really
Wind.
good try though by Wind, actually landing the double mosh pit, but also aborting it in time so that he could dodge the Sulfurous Smash. Really nice detail, but you know, the next shrine is about to hit. Both teams fairly equal when it comes to level and global XP, and Multicore, however, is not going to be ready here, I believe. So this should give a little bit of zone control momentum to CE here. Oh my goodness, that's Lunara. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. I don't think ETC's finished Prog Rock yet, so this is not ideal. Paradise is the one getting targeted for the moment. He's staying alive, though, getting shield. Wind gets a stun. Hyperion is very nicely angled here, as Malthael prevents Arthas from mounting up and gets the kill. Now it's the focus onto Ragnaros. Zuyu is completely unattended. The Sulfurous Smash does not land. Ancestral will keep Ragnaros alive, but that's still a very nicely won fight by CE. As long as they don't lose KTY here. Oh, that poison damage. Lack of AoE healing is kind of a big deal. Wind needs to hurry up and get his globes.
MVP Raynor here. I'm not sure if you caught it because you were doing a very good job, you know, just going with the flow and the action, but the...
He used the Q on the Ragnaros.
Yeah. The penetrating round interrupted the multicore, and the multicore could have actually swung things around here with a stun, with tons of AoE damage, because there were a lot of people like KTY and the Tassador dropping very, very low. So Zuyu going for the big play, one that wasn't really that flashy, but was so important.
Indeed, and now he is also doing even more damage in the form of Giant Killer. Look at Lucky. He's like, oh, he has Giant Killer now. I am in trouble. Look at that. Chunks him down to half health. Wind will get rooted, but he's fine. Punisher will finish off the fort. And in the meantime, Malthael is just AFK in mid, soaking XP.
Yeah, very cool. The Giant Killer, as you said, is going to be a massive tool when it comes to chipping down the health of heroes like Ragnaros and, of course, Arthas. The more HP they have, the more damage they're going to take. And combine that with the percentage damage from Malthael, well, those warriors can't live a safe life anymore. They're going to have to be extremely cautious.
Exactly. Here comes Arthas, getting knocked back by Wind. Nice use of that extra radius, the loudspeakers, to disengage for his team. Punisher will go down, but it was able to take down a tower, almost completely kill the gate. Wasn't able to completely finish it off. So far, with very good team coordination, this Raider is working out.
Absolutely.
It's taking the entire team to focus on it and basically keep it alive, but that's the point. The One are like, oh, it's Raider, we'll just focus it, and therefore CE are able to react to it. As the level 16 is hit, Raider's gone for Bullseye, that's stun, which is going to be very nice here. Other option would have been Cluster Round, extra damage, which they don't really need, or Executioner, which they don't really have empowerment for outside of Tassadar.
Yeah, Raynor just needs to make sure to not overextend, not overstay his welcome here. He's dangerously close to enemy team, but he's got good protection behind him. Also keep in mind, as long as the Divine Shield is ready to be used, he can afford to maybe be a little bit cheeky, you know, with those hard-hitting gun attacks. Yeah, but you can't outrange the fort, unfortunately.
Yeah, that extra one, is it 1 or 1.1 range? I can't remember. But either way, they are able to finish off that fort with no trouble at all and pull back. Nearly killing off tower. Raider gets rooted, doesn't care. Even just drops a couple more bits of counter poke onto Lucky.
Yeah, very cool to see. Now, is that the double penetrating round, or is it the increased damage the more target it hits? That's the
double penetrating round is the previous level.
Oh, okay, my bad. So this is the bullseye,
which is double barreled, and this is bullseye, which is the stun.
Gotcha.
So this is just another self protection talent here.
Cool. And one that makes a lot of sense too. Like the moment Genji, Ragnaros get close to you, you can just stun those suckers and keep yourself a little bit more safe and sound. Is it going to have a lot of value? I do believe so. I really think it can be huge. Now, in the meantime, we see 60 now ready for the One as well. Full E-build, full Swift Strike build, by the way, for Genji. Not even going for the Agile Dismount at level 1. That's something we don't see that often.
That is not something we see that often. He has gone for a little bit of extra deflect cooldown, though, so at least a little variation to what we sometimes see. We sometimes see a little bit of shurikens coming in that level.
Look at Raynor, he's frontlining, actually staying ahead of ETC, something you should never do as a ranged assassin. But due to the fact that they're so safe and coming with the ETC flank right now, it might actually work out. Genji going in.
Ready to fight or flights, heals back up, takes huge poison, but is sustaining through. With the help of his team, he gets almost Hyperion. Gets out though, but that's still 10 to 15. Full control of this area in the favor of CE. Didn't even burn Moshpit. They only used Hyperion heroics-wise, whereas Ancestral had to be used. Here comes Genji for round 2. Wind moving into the choke point. We see the Tormented Souls. It's easy enough to zone out Lunara. They turn around, taking out the tank. And once again, another objective going over to CE. Even the Molten Core will not be able to do anything about that.
And that's how you pop in Arthas, just like that. You let him go in, you zone everyone else out thanks to the Hyperion, and of course that beautiful Tormented Souls by Paradise here on the Malthael. That was just so well done. Malthael zoning out everyone else except for Arthas, and when they realized, hey, Arthas is kind of, you know, isolated and lonely in our backlines, boom, they turned around and made him melt.
To quote Raynor about this Arthas, you ain't feeling effective, because he's getting zoned, he's getting outranged, he's getting percentage damaged. He is having a miserable time this game, and it's not his fault. There's nothing he can do about it. CE are just outplaying them here.
Okay, the keep is about to fall here. Punisher still wreaking havoc in the backlines, and mission accomplished, mission successful here for CE. That's exactly what they wanted to achieve. Hyperion is going to be ready soon, so is the Tormented Souls. They will equip themselves for yet another battle, and boy, I did not expect that Raynor to go off like that, but, you know, if you think about it, like especially that level 7 talent, Fight or Flight, it gives Raynor armor when his self-healing procs. Combine that with Uther, he's going to be able to get up to, what is it, like 40 armor, 45 armor? That's insane.
He can get up to, I'm pretty sure 75, no, not 75. Why am I doing this again? This is what ruined me last Open Division.
Well, Texture, I'm going to give you...
He gets 25 armor from himself, 15 from Uther, and 15 from Tassadar of Kala's Light.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Okay.
55.
Here we go. That's insane if you consider the burst damage from the Genji, you know, the potential Sophia smash from Ragnaros. It's a lot of burst potential, but so much armor. Whoa! Whoa!
Burst! Get wrecked, Genji! Zuyu needs to move back, though. He will have Bullseye up in a second. Doesn't even need it, though. Actually, he may have to use it on Ragnaros here. There you go. Ragnaros stunned up. Easy move there for ETC to get the
Rainer's standing there like a rock.
1v1 Arthas. Self-heals. Gets the Divine Shield. Arthas gets wrecked. Bullseye value. Fight or Flight value. Raynor value. Even at level 20, taking the Nexus Frenzy. Even longer range. Even faster attacks. This is working spectacularly well. He now outranges towers, I think.
So, during the last teamfight, I said that Jimmy was standing there like a rock. I think he's standing there like the rock. He is literally unkillable and flexing his biceps like there was no tomorrow. That's an astounding display of how to make an exotic pick like Raynor really shine. You could also argue, you know, the one they're getting a little bit greedy, especially Meng on that Genji, is basically just YOLOing in maybe too much, but you can't take anything away from Zuyu. He's landing those penetrating rounds and the bullseye stun as a result like a charm. Like an absolute mastermind.
Of course, you can make the argument that maybe Executioner might have worked in this game, but you cannot deny the value he's been getting from the Bullseye, because he is the target, so why not take the stun? It makes him safer. He's already doing enough damage as it is. I mean, he only really needs the percentage damage, because right now, the only two heroes that are a threat to him are Arthas and Genji. Arthas is getting killed off by the Giant Killer. Genji is getting ruined by the stun because he can't deflect.
Very true. And then keep in mind all the armor, as we said previously, up to 55 is the current maximum that he can get. Then he has the additional healing by proc rocks, etc. You know, just in case there's many defensive tools. Now, however, keep in mind, guys, keep in mind, C has not won this game just yet. One wipe. One bad team fight is all it needs for the one to get other... hold on. That's a 19 versus 21 fight. I'm not sure if...
they're retreating. They burned, but they pulled out Hyperion. That's good. Unfortunately, Moshpit's back, so you're out of the frying pan into the fire, basically. I would say also, I think Malthael's being unnecessarily pessimistic by taking nothing can stop death. I don't think there's not a huge chance he's going to die. But we will see. Zuyu gets rooted, as Arthas did stack up his W stun onto Genji. Not enough to finish him. Bullseye misses.
Yeah, Bullseye is missing here indeed, and a lot of poison damage still ticking onto KTY. Lufel does only have that many cooldowns, and once again they go to Jimmy!
Surprise Ragnaros from behind. Win staying alive for the moment. Everyone tanking through as Genji is the first to drop. Zuyu finally taken out, and it's surprise Ragnaros that is able to turn everything on its head. Paradise, the only member. Oh, Uther's back, trying to keep Malthael alive. Uther dies again. Re-healing Malthael, who's 1v4ing Paradise. He's turning it round, trying to survive. Oh! He's healing him. He needs to get more. The core is dying. Look back at the fight, please. Malthael finally goes down, but he's back. Because nothing can stop Dev as the core is dying.
4 catapults hammering, pounding, smashing on that blue core from TheOne, and they only have Lunara at the ready, while Ragnar still tries to maintain control over that shrine. But Malthael, he knows about it. He sees the deer in the base. He realizes those shrines, you know, these shrines, they belong to me.
Malthael nearly turning that round. That was basically a 2v4, and he lost it by after taking down 2 members. Beautiful play. Takes a couple cursed minions, but he really does need his team. He can't afford to die now after using Nothing Can Stop Death, because he's going to be gone for a long time if that happens. So he needs to be alive. The core has dropped low.
Why don't they just go for the core?
For his team.
Why don't they just go for the core, CE, that is? I mean,
just
almost all of their heroic abilities are still on cooldown. Like, you know, Divine Shield is ready. I think they can stall it out.
Why they don't go for the core, and that is they are scared of heroic difficulty.
Right, right. That's very true. That's a legit point.
So they're back on the... Well, we're back to this again. As Zuyu gets focused, heals up.
Okay, nice.
He's alive for the moment. Lucky is isolated. Lucky is dying. He's self-healing though. Staying alive. Ancestral saves him, but the healing reduction means he doesn't get as much healing as he really wanted to get. Lucky is still being focused. As we see Genji dancing around in the backline. Lucky though is isolated and killed off. Wind has been zoning out Zyran. Lunara died earlier. Hugo in that multi-core was not able to get the value. And we are now going to see CE moving on to the core. Rhaegar and Genji are looking to...
Alright, I think that could be it, ladies and gentlemen. CE, they're now in the driver's seat. Their shields are down. The core shields are down 39%. That is almost nothing. Wind, Alufal, all the CE members are now closing in here on the distance, but they need to wait for the Jimmy. Jimmy's not that fast in his old years, you know, but Paradise here now as well. They focus on the enemy team first. A massive Sulfur Smash, though. Is it going to be enough? Focus the core, you fools! Jimmy, what are you doing in the top lane? Is he fighting someone? What is Jimmy doing? He comes in super slow. I think he was fighting one indeed, but he proved to be the victor. And talking about victors, CE takes this home with Jimmy, baby! Fantastic display overall. TheOne, they fought valiantly. After a spectacular win in game number 1, they just didn't have enough momentum left for game number 2. And with an unconventional strategy, with the Jimmy, they made it work like a charm. The full protection comp, the tank chipping comp that CE fielded here on Infernal Shrines proved to be too much of a hurdle to handle for TheOne. And it is now a well-deserved 1-1. Because let's face it, both teams, TheOne and CE, played one hell of a series, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. I hope Tetra is not having any major difficulties here. Hopefully he's going to be back soon.